and on Facebook at facebook.com/Radio Nigeria Network. Now the news in detail. The Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Muhammad Dingyadi, has called for adequate compensation system for employees facing work-related injuries. He made a call at the inauguration of the 11-member Governing Board of Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund in Abuja. The Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund, NSITF, has requested the Benue Investment and Property Company, BIPC, to clear the backlog of 3.2 million naira debt inherited by the current management to facilitate the provision of more social insurance services to the company's staff. Leading a delegation of the fund, Mrs. Nso Echeno, made the request during a courtesy call on the Group Managing Director of BIPC, Dr. Raymond Asemeka in Makodi. Mrs. Echeno appreciated the management of the company for establishing new subsidiaries and appealed for the onboarding of over 300 staff from these subsidiaries to the scheme. In response, Dr. Asemeka thanked the NSITF for offering insurance to some of the company's employees and reaffirmed his commitment to prioritizing the welfare of his staff. The managing director of BIPC instructed the head of the Administration and Human Resources Management Department, Joshua Inipira, to liaise with the NSITF to integrate the new employees from the subsidiaries into the scheme. The chairman of the Revenue Mobilization Allocation and Fiscal Commission, RMAFC, Dr. Muhammad Shehu, has reiterated the Commission's commitment to upholding its constitutional mandate of reviewing and recommending the remuneration of political, public, and judicial office holders in accordance with the acts establishing the Commission. Dr. Shehu stated this when he received a delegation from the Investment and Security Tribunal, IST, led by the chairman, Mr. Amos Isaac Azi, on a courtesy visit. Dr. Shehu assured the delegation that the Commission would conduct a thorough review of the IST's salary structure to ensure alignment with constitutional provisions. Commending the tribunal for its critical role in Nigeria's capital market, Dr. Muhammad Shehu acknowledged its global recognition as one of the leading specialized tribunals, stressing that similar models have been adopted internationally. Earlier, the chairman of Security and Investment Tribunal, Mr. Amos Aziz, said the visit was to seek the support of the Commission to ensure the remuneration of the chairman, members, and chief registrar of the tribunal be equivalent to that of the chief judge, judges, and chief registrar of the Federal High Court, as enshrined in Section 220 of the Investment and Security Act 2007. The Minister of Women Affairs, Hajia Ayman Sulaiman Ibrahim, has reaffirmed Nigeria's commitment to advancing financial inclusion, education, and leadership opportunities for women entrepreneurs. She stated this after a meeting with representatives of Wayne Global and TICO on the sidelines of the 69th session of the Commission on the Status of Women in New York. The minister emphasized that the federal government remained dedicated to breaking systemic barriers that hindered women's economic participation. Hajia Sulaiman Ibrahim expressed optimism that the ongoing financial and policy reforms would enhance investment in women-led businesses, improve access to credit, and equip women entrepreneurs with the skills needed to thrive in competitive markets. She added that financial inclusion and leadership development were critical to ensure Nigerian women could fully participate in the economy, scale their businesses, and contribute meaningfully to national development. The Chairman Senate Committee on Labor, Employment and Productivity, Senator Dickett Plang, has distributed water pumping machines and other farming implements to promote dry season farming in Plateau Central Senatorial District. Speaking with newsmen at the venue of the distribution, Senator Plang said the gesture was to tackle hunger and ensure food security in the zone. Senator Plang said he engaged in the projects due to the prospects of Plateau Central Senatorial District which is blessed with abundant arable land and natural water sources suitable for horticulture and irrigation farming. It is close that 300 water pumping machines were distributed among 66 wards in the zone. The lawmaker said over 100 listed grinding machines of different sizes were doled out to people in the district and taught them to use all the items judiciously. Senator Plong also distributed assorted grains such as rice, corn, millet, and others to Muslims in the district.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
When you steal public funds, ICPC, there we come for you.
Fellow Nigerians, are you not tired of corruption holding our dear country back? Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, is here to stamp it out. From bribery to embezzlement, nepotism, favoritism, contract inflation to kickbacks, even sexual harassment amongst others, we're committed to fighting corruption in all its forms. And for those who embezzle our commonwealth to acquire assets, ICPC will trace and seize the assets anytime, anywhere. If you break the law will break you. As a citizen, it's your responsibility to track government projects in your constituency. We urge you to report any act of corruption to us. Your identity will be protected, so no need to fear. Let's build a better and corruption-free Nigeria together. Join the ICPC in our mission for a cleaner and fairer society. Report any corruption taking place around you. Make a difference. For more information, call 0800-2255-4272. If you see corruption, expose it.
The Honorable Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, His Excellency Adeboyega Oyetola, CON, in collaboration with the Ballet Energy Institute of the University College, London, cordially invites critical stakeholders in the maritime industry, environment and policymakers to the African Strategic Summit on Shipping Decarbonization with the theme Ensuring a Just and Equitable Shipping Decarbonization for Africa. Date, Monday 17 to Tuesday, March 18, 2025. Venue, Transcorp Hilton Hotel, Abuja, Nigeria. Time, 9 a.m. daily. Strictly by invitation. Olufemi Oloruntola, Permanent Secretary, Announcer.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
As reported earlier, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Dr. Muhammad Dingyadi, has called for adequate compensation system for employees facing work-related injuries. He made a call at the inauguration of the 11-member Governing Board of Nigeria Social Insurance Trust Fund in Abuja. Dr. Dingyadi urged the newly constituted board to promote accountability and fairness in the discharge of their responsibilities.
As board members, they are all aware that the funds play a key role in ensuring the welfare and protection of Nigerian workers, providing financial support in line with the provisions of the Employers' Compensation Act. Therefore, their commitment to transparency, accountability is of paramount importance.
The chairman of the board, Mr. Shola Olofin, promised to reposition the fund as a globally recognized social security institution trusted by employers, employees, and the general public. Mr. Olofin gave an assurance that the board will ensure unwavering commitment to social justice and give appropriate compensation to affected workers. The federal government has expressed commitments to achieve higher enrollment in universities. The Minister of Education, Dr. Olatunji Alausa, said this in Abuja at a crucial meeting with Vice Chancellors of federal universities. Dr. Alausa therefore directed the Vice Chancellors to adopt bold strategies to boost students' intake. Education correspondent Patience Udumati completes the story.
The Minister of Education, Dr. Olatunji Alausa, maintained that the federal government would intensify efforts to tackle the low student enrollment in universities. The minister, who stressed that there was an urgent need to expand access to higher education, especially with Nigeria's growing youth population, said universities must create more opportunities to equip young people for national development. Dr. Alausa therefore urged the vice chancellors to embrace technology and ensure their courses align with industry demands.
You can negotiate with private builders out of the university within a certain mileage of the university. Leverage technology to do hybrid classes online. That's how you can expand capacity. Every one of you, courses you're offering, we need to align to our national needs.
The Minister of Education, who also made it known that specialized universities that offer courses outside their mandate would have their programs scrapped to ensure full specialization, warned that institutions that fail to tailor their courses to societal needs would face sanctions.
I'm going to set up my own audit team that will come. I'm giving you time. It will happen before the end of this year. If you are not doing the directive of the Federal Ministry of Education, there will be consequences.
The Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, Professor Abdullahi Ribadu, emphasized that accurate data was crucial to enhance planning. Professor Ribadu stated that expansion would require more staff, better infrastructure, and an increase in admission quotas.
You need to expand facilities, infrastructure, and human resources in terms of recruitment of additional staff and their training as well.
The Registrar of JAM, Professor Ishak Oloide, who said that widened access to higher education may also require lower admission cutoff marks, called for sensitization to help institutions align with the government's agenda.
The expansion we are talking about, to get this large number, they must reduce the cutoff.
Meanwhile, the Chairman, Committee of Vice Chancellors of Federal Universities, Professor Tanko Ishaya, appealed for a review of academic staff remuneration to boost morale and retention. In Abuja, Patience Olumati, Radio Nigeria.
A professor of agricultural communication, University of Ibadan, Kota Yahaya, has advocated adequate funding of research and innovations to boost mechanized farming in the country. He stated this during the second phase of the University of Ibadan 45th lecture series. Rotimi Famaki has details.
In the lecture entitled Decolonization as a Golden Key to Unlock Food Security, Professor Yahaya commended the massive investment by Niger State in mechanized farming, a project launched by President Bola Tinubu. Professor Yahaya explained that the facilities procured by the Niger State government included over 1,000 tractors, 500 case tractors, 140 combined harvesters, 6,000 implements comprising plower, harrowers, ridgers, 10,000 solar irrigation pump, among others, have yielded several millions of tons of rice due to the direct cultivation of 107,000 hectares of land by the state government. According to Professor Yahaya, the investment had encouraged many young female participation in mechanized farming system, while also promoting involvement of smallholder farmers to produce food to complement the sector.
This has even enabled effective female participation in agriculture. Our learning institutions have something to learn from these gentlemen.
Other states with agricultural strides that encouraged public-private partnership initiative included Borno State, which according to him introduced farmers to new seed varieties that are resilient to pests and droughts. Osun and Oyo State, according to Professor Yahaya, also had modern agricultural practices that leveraged on public-private partnership. The agricultural communication professor queried authorities for allowing the dominance by multinational organizations and Western institutions in the sector, saying it discouraged indigenous people who are involved in agriculture. Professor Yahaya commended President Bola Tinubu agricultural reform agenda manifested in the Livestock Reform Implementation Committee, currently addressing obstacles posed by double taxation and deficiencies by regulatory agencies in the country. He maintained that the reform has created a business-friendly atmosphere for cattle farmers in the northern region.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has instituted a comprehensive reform plan to enhance livestock output, strengthen food security, and provide enormous possibilities along the value chain.
The Niger State Governor Alhaji Mohammed Bago said the lecture adequately addressed numerous challenges grappling with food security in the country and urged federal and state governments to adopt a new approach to the indigenous farming system in the country.
The lecture was very, very comprehensive, took care of even our fare, in terms of research.
Alhaji Bago encouraged Nigerian youth to consider agriculture as a profession rather than struggling for the few white-collar jobs. The final phase of the lecture, entitled Multi-Sectoral Options in the Decolonization of Food Security in Nigeria, comes up on the 20th of March in Ibadan. Rotimi Famaki, Radio Nigeria.
The United Nations Women, Gender Equality and Women Empowerment Coordination Mechanism Platform in Delta State have called for more economic empowerment of women to enhance gender equality in the country. The medical hall in Asaba, the state capital, at a lecture series and exhibition of products by graduate trainees of a project tagged Working Fingers Initiative. Oganari Guerre reports that experts were invited to enlighten the women on managing mental health, business skills, and family planning.
The Executive Director, Working Fingers Initiative, Dr. Eris Jowo, noted that women in 7 out of 25 local government areas in the state were engaged in the program with a total of 2,000 participants.
We have reached almost 2,000 women through empowerment of women in skills and development.
Delta State Commissioner for Women Affairs, Dr. Pata Judwa, represented by Mrs. Faith Opoworo, said the domestication and full implementation of the Violence Against Persons Prohibition, VAP, and the execution of women empowerment programs by the government were some of the policies aimed at women development in the state.
Increasing access to quality health care, promoting education for the girl child, and creating a safe space.
Dr. Mini Oseji, who gave health talk on mental and social management health of women, urged the group to take care of their physical and mental health despite their busy schedules catering for their families, building a career, and to undergo regular medical checkups.
It's important that you have a career that keeps you going. To space the children, of course, you have to use family planning.
Other state coordinators of NGOs under the United Nations Women Coordination Mechanism, including Aminat Olarinwaju of the Muslim Women Association and Eripara Orishe Matosa of Professional Women Accountants of Nigeria, highlighted the economic empowerment of women, which will enable the group to surmount other challenges. High point of the occasion was the display of products by graduate trainees under the Working Fingers Initiative, such as homemade soaps, traditional attires, caps, bags, and shoes. In Asaba, Ogenero Iguere, Radio Nigeria.
Participants at an event in Jos Plateau State have expressed concern over the negative impacts of moral decadence in the country. They made their position known during a 2-day youth camp on national ethics and values in Nigeria, held in Jos Plateau State. Josiah Bozon reports that the event was organized by a non-governmental organization, Emmanuel Ivoba Center.
The event had in attendance young men and women from different religious and ethnic backgrounds geared up to begin the conversation about ethics and values in the country. President of the non-governmental organization, Mr. Emmanuel Ivoba, spoke more on the event.
We want to see the culture of respect for elders, loyalty, patriotism to our nation. We are not here by accident. This is the only country that God has given to us, and we need to do everything we can, working together with others to see how we can make our country better than it is.
Mr. Ivoba expressed disappointment that some of the young people are willing to do anything, including sacrificing the values and ethics that the country is known for in order to get rich. A narrative, he said, should be changed. The Deputy Director with the National Orientation Agency in Plateau State, Mr. Johanna Philibus, was optimistic that the program will promote the youth in various ways.
It will promote national identity and pride, national integrity for the youth, and that will change the narrative about Nigeria.
A member of the Planning Committee for National Rebranding and Ethics, Pastor Emmanuel Ekerete Epo, said some Nigerians have a mindset problem developed over the years.
We also believe that there's hope for Nigeria because we have a wonderful country, we have wonderful citizens, we have laws in place, and if we get it right, we should be able to catapult ourselves from where we are to where we'd like to be.
Director, College of Peace and Reconciliation Studies, JOS, Professor Joseph Mareng, stressed the need for more value orientation.
This generation now that do not know some of the disciplinary ethics that are being enforced in families are now a nuisance to us. And now we want to go back again to where we missed it yesterday. That will take a lot of effort.
Other participants called for more promotion of such events in order to pass the country's values to the upcoming generation. From Jos, Josiah Budzun, Radio Nigeria.
Now to legal matters. The Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has altered the enforcement of its January 10 judgment, which upheld the Kano State Governor's repeal of the 2019 Emirates Council law, pending the Supreme Court's determination of an appeal on the same matter. The ruling was delivered yesterday by a 3-member panel led by Justice Okon Abang. Justice Abang emphasized that the applicant, having served as emir for 5 years before his removal, had legal rights that required protection until the Supreme Court delivers a final verdict. The court granted a stay of execution, effectively maintaining the status quo in the ongoing legal tussle over the Kano Emirate dispute. the appellate court had earlier set aside a ruling by Justice Abubakar Liman of the Federal High Court in Kano, which nullified the Kano state government's dissolution of 5 emirates in the state and the subsequent reinstatement of Muhammad Sanusi II as the 16th emir of Kano. The Court of Appeal then ruled that the lower court lacked jurisdiction over the case. An Abuja-based human rights legal practitioner, Mr. Deji Adeyanju, has urged all the parties involved in the impasse between Senate President Godswill Akpabio and Senator Natasha Uduaghan to desist from politicizing it as a northern and southern affair. At a news briefing in Abuja, Mr. Adeyanju said inasmuch as the issue was a matter of concern to all Nigerians, it must not be likened to a political fight between the North and the South.
Some group few days ago said that they are going to shut down Nigeria over the issue, that they want to do some blockades over the issue. The group tried to make it a north and a southern issue, and I felt I needed to hear my view about that, that this is not a north versus south issue. This is an issue between 2 senators.
He condemned the manner in which Senator Natasha was suspended from the Senate, insisting that the Senate President should have relieved himself from the plenary that led to the suspension. The human rights lawyer, who also condemned Senator Natasha's presentation at the Interparliamentary Union in Geneva, Switzerland, however, urged her to come up with more evidence to substantiate her claims.
Since they have refused to give her fair hearing in the Senate, let her make public, credible evidence to back up the claim. The man has said he is a lie. I did not do anything to her. So if there are messages, review them. Let her bring forward the evidence so that we can help her amplify the matter.
Mr. Adeyanju urged the parties in the matter to focus more on the issues that will bring more dividends of democracy to the people and sort out their matter through legal means. It's 23 minutes past 7. You're listening to the news on the network service of Radio Nigeria. In the headlines, the Minister of Labour has called for adequate compensation for work-related injuries. The federal government has directed universities to boost students' intake. The appeal court has stopped the reinstatement of Sanusi Lamido as the mayor of Kano. And coming up shortly, ECOWAS to establish counter-terrorism brigade, plus entertainment, sports, commentary, cyberscope, newspaper headlines, and weather reports. Just stay tuned for details of these and other stories.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Nigeria's economy is currently being faced with challenges threatening its growth and stability. On Radio Link, the Radio Nigeria Audience Participatory Program this Saturday, we shall be discussing rebasing the Nigerian economy. Our guest shall be Mr. Lateef Olawumi, an economic analyst, and the Executive Secretary, National Board for Technical Education, NBTE, Professor Idris Bugaje. You can join the conversation by dialing 0915 0910 482 and 0915 0910 483. While emails can be sent to frcncurrentaffairs@yahoo.com. Radio Link is broadcast every Saturday between 8 and 10 o'clock in the morning on the network service of Radio Nigeria. Join us.
We health, now we end the day. All of us get work to do on top am. Time don't reach make we for sabi, can't take care from the beginning. Shey you sabi say HIV, AIDS, syphilis, and hepatitis na something we fit to dodge from, treat, and even no be death sentence again sef. Knowledge na power. You fit to live correct better life wey go make sense, treat, and get help when you need am. They fit to manage HIV with treatment, syphilis own na antibiotics, and for hepatitis na vaccine we go take knack am to fit escape from am. Regular testing na key for all of us to fit dey safe. Together, we go fit stop the spread of HIV, AIDS, syphilis, and hepatitis. Always dey go for testing to sabi your status and stay safe. Prevention, treatment, na your hand e dey. Prevention na key. Together, we go fit end this pain. Follow your doctor relate. Run your test today. HIV, AIDS no be death sentence o. Enter we public health center wey near you pass today. This message na from the First Lady of the Federal Federal Republic of Nigeria, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, CON.
Radio Nigeria, uplifting the people and uniting the nation.
Thanks a bunch for staying tuned. Military chiefs from the West African sub-region are considering establishing ECOWAS counter-terrorism brigade, amongst others. The chairman of ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, made the disclosure at the closing ceremony of the 43rd Ordinary Meeting of ECOWAS Chiefs of Defense Staff at the Defense Headquarters, Abuja. The 43rd Ordinary Meeting of the ECOWAS Committee of Chiefs of Defense Staffs brought together military chiefs across the West African sub-region to deliberate on the challenges of insecurity bedeviling the ECOWAS nation. The Nigeria Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, said that the meeting has been most rewarding as deliberations has been sincere and forthright, with member nations' collective security being accorded the priority. The Nigerian Chief of Staff appreciated the chairman of the ECOWAS heads of states and government, President Bola Tinubu, for his leadership and support in making the meeting a reality. General Christopher Musa, who commended all the ECOWAS chiefs from the region for attending the meeting, noted that the military chiefs challenging, but with their collective efforts, they will overcome the insecurity being faced in the region. The Controller General of the Nigeria Customs Service, Bashir Adewale Adeniyi, has urged residents of Taraba State and other stakeholders to cooperate with the government to ensure the gains recorded in the petroleum distribution system for local consumption and not reversed.